Hi Roosevelt friends, I'm coming to you from my backyard to read to you today. I hope you enjoy being outside with me as we listen to our book today, but first I wanted to show you pre-K friends that I have one more bloom on my plant, and there are lots of little buds in here that are going to bloom probably in the next few to several days, and I am really looking forward to seeing all my new blooms in my beautiful pot. I'm going to read to you today from a book called From Seed to Plant by Gail Gibbons. This is a neat book that has all sorts of information about plants and how they grow. Most plants make seeds. A seed contains the beginning of a new plant. It's a picture of some pretty flowers. One of my favorites is a tulip. Seeds are different shapes, sizes, and colors. All seeds grow into the same kind of plant that made them. For example, if you were to plant a sunflower seed, you'll end up with a sunflower plant. If you plant an acorn, you'll end up with, eventually, an oak tree. Many plants grow flowers. Flowers are where most seeds begin. A flower is made up of many parts. Lots of parts to a flower. Before a seed can grow, a grain of pollen from the stamen must land on the stigma at the top of the pistil of a flower like itself. This is called pollination. Pollination happens in different ways. Often wind blows pollen from flower to flower. So plants can get pollinated by the wind, blowing that pollen from one place to another. Here's another way that pollen can move from one plant to another. Bees, other insects, and hummingbirds help pollinate too. While they visit flowers for their sweet juice called nectar, the pollen rubs onto their bodies. So here's a bee getting a pollen bath, and here's a hummingbird getting some pollen on itself. Then they carry that pollen to another flower where it gets rubbed off onto the pistil of the flower. If a pollen grain from a flower lands on the pistil of the same kind of flower, it grows a long tube through the pistil into an ovule. This is the beginning of a seed. The seeds grow inside the flower, even as the flower begins to die. As the seed becomes bigger, a fruit or pod grows around them. The fruit or pod protects the seeds. Here's a picture of the fruit or the pod protecting the seeds. Like a bean pod up there. When the fruit or pod ripens, it breaks open. The seeds are ready to become new plants. Some seeds fall to the ground around the base of the plant where they will grow. So you see some seeds falling out of that pod, and they're falling right to the ground below where they can grow. They need soil to grow. Some pods or fruits open and the seeds pop out. Sometimes when birds eat berries, they drop seeds. Other seeds fall into streams, ponds, rivers, or the ocean. There they travel on the water until they stick to the dirt along a shore. So think about some different ways that seeds get moved from one place to another. We just learned that birds can carry seeds. When they are eating berries, the seeds may drop off. We've learned that the ocean can carry seeds. Probably other bodies of water can carry seeds too. Here's another way that seeds can travel. The wind scatters seeds. Some seeds have fluff on them that lets them float to the ground like tiny parachutes. Others have wings that spin as they fall. This would be a spinning seed, and this would be a floating seed. Animals help scatter seeds too. They hide acorns and nuts in the ground, especially those squirrels. Some seeds have hooks that stick to the fur of animals or people's clothes, like this picture right here. This guy's jeans have seeds stuck to them. Later, they drop off onto the ground. When they're done traveling, they fall right off. A flower bed or vegetable garden is beautiful. Seeds are planted to grow in those gardens. The seeds come in small envelopes or boxes. Directions explain how to plant the seeds and care for the plants. Looks like they're planting a very good, big garden there. Oh, here's some things we need to get those seeds growing. The beginning of a plant is curled up inside each seed. Food is stored inside that seed too. The seed has a seed coat on the outside to protect it. This is the seed coat on the outside. And then there's food on the inside for this plant to feed on while it grows. And then when that seed coat softens, the plant can start poking out of it. A seed will not sprout until certain things happen, however. First, it must be on or in the soil. Then it needs to rain to soak that soil and soak that seed and soften the seed coat. If the seed coat is too hard, then the plant can't come out of it and start growing and getting roots into the ground. It has to soften that seed coat so it can pop out. Got to have that water. When the sun shines and warms the ground, the seed coat breaks open and the seed begins to grow. This is called germination. A root grows down into the soil. The root takes in the water and minerals from the soil for food. It grows a shoot. Then green leaves grow up from the shoot toward the sun. So the roots go down into the dirt and the shoots and the leaves all go up toward the sun. Very fascinating. The plant grows bigger and bigger. The leaves make food for the plant from the water and minerals in the soil, the sunlight and the air all around the plant. Finally, the plant is full grown. Buds on the plant open into flowers where the new seeds will grow. So this shows a mature plant right here with the flowers on it, getting ready to drop more seeds. And the cycle continues. Many of the foods people eat are seeds, fruits and pods. They are full of nutrition, vitamins, and minerals, and they are tasty too. See if you can see some foods and vegetables and fruits in these pictures, excuse me, that you like to eat. I bet you can find something. I think I like just about everything shown here. I like to eat all sorts of different foods. So I want to show you something. After you watch this video, you can get some crayons and some markers and do this on your own. But I'd like for you to get a piece of paper. You can just use a piece of printer paper, and you're going to fold it in half, or a piece of construction paper or notebook paper or anything. Fold it in half like a hamburger, kind of like we learned in pre-K. You fold it like a hamburger, and then you're just going to take that hamburger and fold it in half again, like you're going to share half of that hamburger with somebody. And then when you open it up, you're going to have 4 boxes on your paper, and the lines on your paper, I'd like for you just to trace it with a marker or a crayon or a pencil or just something that will show you where all those lines are, those 2 lines, and that'll divide your paper into 4 boxes where you can draw your pictures. And what I'd like you to draw pictures of are, let me show you this neat board I have here. Make sure I get it all on camera. And this big picture shows the 4 ways in our book that it talked about how the seeds can travel from one place to another. One way that seeds can travel is on people. Seeds can get stuck on people's clothes. In the storybook it showed a seed on the boy's pants, and so that seed was moving because of a person, because of people. Another way seeds can move is the wind. The wind can carry seeds. And in the book we saw a dandelion plant that had those little fluffy seeds that can just blow and blow in the wind. You don't want to blow those in your yard though, because you could get a lot of those in your yard. But you can blow them in an empty field. That would be great. Another way seeds can travel is by birds. In the story, we saw the bird that was eating berries, and the seeds could drop out of that plant and get planted somewhere else. And so another way, a third way seeds can travel is by birds. And finally in the book it talked about how seeds can travel with water pushing them and carrying them. In the book it showed the ocean. It showed a tree with plant seeds going into the ocean, and then the seeds moved down the water shore way, and then more seeds got planted and more trees got planted. So here shows like a little creek or a brook, and there are some flowers upstream. Well, some seeds are dropping into the water and getting carried downstream, and look, more flowers can get planted. So those are the 4 ways that our book talked about, and I want you to think about those ways. And on your piece of paper, you can take your crayons and markers and color some pretty pictures of how a person can carry a seed, how the wind can blow a seed, how a bird might carry a seed, and how the water might carry a seed. I hope you learned something today, and I sure enjoyed reading with you, and I hope you enjoyed being in my backyard with me. Until next time, bye.